Stay. We come together in this moment. We bind our hearts and minds, for we all form a tapestry woven from one life, one creation, undivided, a unique expression of God. We come together now in one accord. We come together in this moment. We bind our hearts and minds, for we all form a tapestry woven from one life, one creation, undivided, all unique expressions of God. We come together now in one accord, one power, one heart, one mind, one love, one peace, one love, one mind. We come together in this moment. We bind our hearts and minds, for we all form a tapestry woven from one life, one creation, undivided, all unique expressions of God. We come together now in one heart, one mind, one love, one joy, one mind. Together now in one love, one peace, one joy, one mind, one love, one heart, one peace,
Was so
Thank you,
beautiful.
thank you.
Good evening,
Oh,
everybody.
thank you.
Let's give Jim, Bianchi, and Cole Miller some love. Some more love. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Sonny. And give Sonny some love.
They create that atmosphere, that musical atmosphere that we get to step into, and so I just love them, guys. Welcome, everybody. It's so good to see y'all. Welcome to the Revealing Experience. Let's sing, yeah? Okay. Come on in, we welcome you. Come on in, we welcome you. Let go.
Be free.
That's right. Come on in and take a seat. We're glad you're here. We're spreading love, joy, and cheer. So come on in. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you. Let go. Be free. Come on in and take a seat. We're glad you're here. We're spreading love, joy, and cheer. So come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you.
Come on in.
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 Come on in. We welcome you.
Come on in.
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 Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so awesome to sing that song and have people walk in while I'm singing welcome. We're all singing welcome. It's just like, welcome, yes. So we drop into that space where we know the truth of who we are, the peace, the joy, and the love. Reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, love is what I see. Reveal the love in me. Reveal the peace inside of me. Reveal the peace that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, peace is what I see. Reveal the peace in me. The joy. Reveal the joy inside of me. Reveal the joy that I was meant to be. And when?
Every
single time.
Open up,
joy is what I see. Reveal the joy in me. Love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, love is what I see. And every time I open up, peace is what I see. Oh, and every time I open up, joy is what I see. Reveal the love in me.
Thank you, Cole, Jim, Sonny. Precious music for a precious time to invoke spirit and bring our blessings here. And the gift of being here together is the blessing for the evening. Blessed by the divine, blessed by that beloved energy and spirit that is here among us, in us, as us, and through us. For each one here, the life of God is the life for each. That life that God is. And so as we move into this time and into this energy of wondrous joy and love and peace, we send that out to each other. We send that out to all we know. We send that out into this community. For that is what we are here to reveal. That love and that joy and that peace that brings all this together, blesses us, and makes this evening time together a precious, precious bunch of moments. And so it is. Hello. Good to see you all. It's July. It's the revealing service for Wednesday night with Reverend Sunshine Daye. And we have been following a theme all year called Let's Get Booked Up. And so we have been reading the Science of Mind text a little bit at a time each week. We have been spending time pondering over the great works of Ernest Holmes through that wondrous book. And this week we have a particular message from Reverend Sunshine that's called Trust the Process. Okay, trust the process. That's what I had to do today to get here. So, yeah. So I have a little reading from Michael Singer, a little piece from his book, The Untethered Soul, and it seemed to speak to me about that place of trusting the process of life. And the first of chapter 8 says, "Let go now or fall." The natural ups and downs of life can either generate personal growth or create personal fears. Which of these dominates is completely dependent upon how we view change. Change can be viewed as either exciting or frightening, but regardless of how we view it, we must all face the fact that change is the very nature of life. And if you have a lot of fear, you won't like change. You'll try to create a world around you that is predictable, controllable, and definable. You'll try to create a world that doesn't stimulate your fears. People don't understand that fear is a thing. It's just another object in the universe that you are capable of experiencing. You can do one of two things with fear. You can recognize that you have it and work to release it, or you can keep it and try to hide from it. Because people don't deal with fear objectively, they don't understand it. They go through life attempting to create safety and control by defining how they need life to be in order to be okay. This is how the world becomes frightening. Because you resist these changes, you feel that you are struggling with life. You feel like this person is not behaving the way they should, and this event is not unfolding the way you want. You see situations that happened in the past as disturbing, and you see things down the road as potential problems. Your definitions of desirable and undesirable, as well as good and bad, all come about because you have defined how these things need to be in order for you to be okay. How did we come up with that notion that life is not okay just the way it is, or that it won't be okay the way it will be? Who said that the way life naturally unfolds is not all right? If you want to grow spiritually, you have to change that. If you are defining creation based upon the most messed up parts of your being, which is fear, what do you expect creation to look like? It's going to be a frightful mess. As you grow spiritually, you will realize that your attempts to protect yourself from your problems actually create more problems. If you attempt to arrange people, places, and things so they don't disturb you, it will begin to feel like life is against you. And we all know that place. You're either trying to figure out how to keep things from happening, or you're trying to figure out what to do because they did happen. You are fighting with creation. And that's what makes creation itself the most frightening thing in your life at times. Okay, one last piece. The stuff that holds you down periodically rears its head. When it does, let it go. You simply permit the pain to come up into your heart and pass through. If you do that, it will pass. If you are sincerely seeking truth, you'll let go every time. This is the beginning and the end of the entire path. You surrender yourself to the process of emptying yourself of fear. When you work with this, you start to learn the subtler laws of the process of letting go. There is a law you will learn very early in the game because it is an unavoidable truth. You will learn it early, but you will fall many times while trying to adhere to it. The law is very straightforward. When your stuff hits you, let go right then, because it will be harder later. It won't be easier if you explore it or play with it, hoping to take the edge off. It won't be easier to think about, talk about, or try to release only a part of it at a time. If you want to be free to the core of your being, you must let go right away, because it will not be easier later. And so, we're going to trust the process. We're going to bring up our beautiful and wonderful Reverend Sunshine Daye, and this revealing service is going to begin.
Hi.
Thank you so much. That's our practitioner, Jan Hartman. Thank you for that great reading and that beautiful prayer. And thanks to Sonny and Jim and Cole. There you are, Jim. Welcome, everyone. What's going on? Y'all ready for me to throw down? Yeah. I don't know. Fasten your seatbelts. Because we're about to maybe go on a roller coaster, and if you trust the process, you'll probably need the seatbelt. I am grateful to be before you today to simply talk about this idea of trusting the process and how this idea of trusting the process came up is because the reading for today specifically is about faith. And you know, when we talk about faith, sometimes, you know, people just kind of think about this idea of blind faith, or just kind of like, you know, leap and the ground will appear on the other side until it doesn't, you know. Or just kind of go for it and, you know, you'll reach it, you'll do it. You know, but I tend to think that faith is really about this inner conviction and this inner trust. I know that I've said it many, many times, especially on Wednesday nights, talking about how we sometimes have more faith in the chair that we're sitting in to support us than we do in God. And when I mean God, and when I say God, I mean that life energetic, that radiance, that peace, that love, that intelligence that has created us out of itself. And because I'm not talking about specifically some deity, then it doesn't get all personal, like, ooh, I was bad today, so maybe, you know, this deity is not going to be, you know, favoring what I do, or maybe I'm not going to be in its favor. But I'm talking about an unconditional love, an unconditional presence, an unconditional power that has created everything out of itself. Therefore, our life is that life itself. And when I talk about trusting the process, I'm talking specifically about the process that we as religious scientists or folks in the science of mind philosophy, those of us who are on this path, in this way of life, what we're actually following is some kind of hybrid of spirituality and science. That place where science meets spirituality and spirituality meets science. So when I talk about a scientific process, or when I talk about this process that we should trust, I'm talking about what happens day in, day out, without fail. I'm not talking about something that happens sometimes. You know, like sometimes when I walk my dog in the morning and I come in, sometimes I give her a treat. And then there's some times where I don't have a treat to give her. Or there's some times where I forget to give her a treat. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the sun revolving around the earth revolving around the sun. I'm talking about a specific process that happens irrespective of whether we're good, whether we're bad, like Michael Jackson bad, like I'm bad, yeah. That it happens all the time. That process is knowing that our life is God. Period. So how do we get to that place of knowing and living from this place beyond the shadow of a doubt that my life is God, therefore, that which is true of God is true of me? Ernest Holmes talks about this today in his reading. He says on page 284, which is what we're to read today as we uncover this big, thick book in 1 year. I love it that we just kind of get to read a couple of paragraphs and pages and then be with it. He says, so faith may be said to be scientific. That is, we're now dealing with a principle that has been defined and we know something about the way it works. We know how to use the law governing it. Faith in this law helps us to use our understanding with greater conviction. It's a lot of words. And he confuses me sometimes. Because he's not around to ask, dude, what did you mean by that, right? And then even when I hang out with some of the people who kind of knew him or, who had got it passed down, kind of like a copy machine, the copy of the copy of the copy, sometimes it doesn't necessarily resonate. But what he's talking about, at least for me here, what he's talking about specifically is that when we follow a process, when we follow a way of being, it's scientific. It's proven. It's a proven method. And faith is a proven method. Imagine that, where scientists are saying faith is a proven method. Faith is a conviction, is a trusting beyond anything imaginable. Like having faith in my relationship or having faith that I'm going to be successful. Like there's this conviction within me beyond a shadow of a doubt. I am moving through life with a faith, with this conviction, with this knowing that life is for me. How did I get there? Because the bottom line is that I too, like many of you, sat before ministers and preachers and saints and sinners and gurus and all the type, wondering, how do I get there? How do I get to really living with this conviction and with this faith that life is actually for me and not against me? Kind of like the untethered soul. And what I know is that I cannot fix the problem at the level of the problem. And so I cannot fix the problem at the level of the problem. She wanted me to repeat that. I think it's important, right? We can't fix the problem at the level of the problem. So if we're constantly in the problem or if we're constantly trying to be in it and trying to figure it out, it's an impossibility. Because we're going to keep getting what we're getting because we're going to keep doing what we're doing. So what are the steps necessary as I sat in your seats? What were the steps that were necessary for me to get to a place, at least, that I could share with you from my own experience of how I get to live this life of faith, of conviction, of knowing, of this simple, just like trust walk, that life is for me and not against me? How did I get to one place? How did I get to this specific place to be able to speak about it with such passion and such love and such knowing when it wasn't too long ago where I was like, I don't know. I don't know about this stuff. Maybe, it's just magic, or maybe it just happens for some people. But I kept hearing Michael Beckwith talk about if it happens for one, it happens for all. That when it happens for one, it happens for all. Because when we see one graduate, when we see one elevated, when we see one lifted up, Yea, though I be lifted up, I draw all unto me, which are the words of the Christ, meaning the enlightened one. He wasn't just talking about himself, but he was also talking about greater work shall we do. Meaning that that which was true for him was also true for us. For any of the great prophets, it's true for us because that's who we are. We're prophets unto one another. And the steps that it takes is this. He talks about it on page 285. So he talks about it, and then he gives us the answer. A consciousness of divine presence in the one we are seeking to help is necessary, for we must provide a different mental equivalent for healing than those which create disease. In this specific reading, he's talking about practitioners, meaning those of us who practice this truth, this teaching, this way of life. Because it's one thing to pray for somebody else, and it's another thing to pray for ourselves, because the truth of the matter is there's only one. So really when I'm praying for somebody else, I'm really praying for and about myself. But he's talking about a consciousness of divine presence. So consciousness, a state of being awake and aware. So we must have and we must enter into a state of being awake and aware. We can no longer walk around in a sleep state. We can no longer be in default mode and just life as ordinary. Time to wake up, time to make the coffee, time to make the donuts, time to take a shower, time to shave, time to get in the car, go to work, boo-hoo, this job, time to go to school, time to play after school, time, you know what I mean? Time to walk the dog. We can't stay asleep, y'all. This is exactly what it's talking about. We cannot solve the problem at the level of the problem. And if we're going to continue to stay asleep, then how do we ever expect to get to that place that we dream of getting, which is to live a life of freedom? Ernest Holmes promises us, and what we believe is that we will reach a state of freedom of all discord. Of all discord. So whether the discord, you know, I love it that discord is like musical, you know. We got some great musicians in the house. I see Michael's in the house. We have some wonderful musicians, so you could play something, dun, 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 discord. It'd be like, ooh, that is nasty. You know, you don't want to hear that, you know. When Jim is playing and it's all pretty and then he hits a wrong key, be like, whoa, that's the one that stands out, right? Be like, dang, what's up, right? When Ernest Holmes promises us that we can in fact be free from discord, meaning from those notes, meaning from that place that is not for our highest and best, meaning from that place that is not in harmony, that is not for the greater good, that we can have freedom from all discord, whether it's financial, whether it's love, whether it's relationship, whether it's career, whether it's health, that we can actually achieve freedom. The only way that we can do that is by having and by becoming awake and aware. We have to stop sleepwalking and we gotta wake each other up. Because it's one thing for me to be awake, but if I'm sitting around or watching or just kind of like cruising around and other people are still asleep, it doesn't do the world any good, any justice for me to just know that I'm awake, but for me to also shine my light so brightly that it kind of wakes folks up. Living out loud. Not being ashamed of where we've gotten. And living our truth. Not that we have to be boastful and be like, yeah, you know, I live a good life. Look what I got, because I practice. I'm a practitioner. Not living from that place. I know, sometimes I go there. I have to, you know? But that place of awakening that just kind of is from that pureness of love of ourselves, of love of humanity, love of this creative intelligence that is living as us. We must awaken. So we have to have a state of awakened awareness of the divine presence. That was like January stuff when we first started reading the book. There's one power, one life. We call it God. We call it spirit. We call it radiance. We call it creative intelligence. We call it the great reality. Whatever it is that we call it, we must have a consciousness. We must be awake and aware and alert that this creative intelligence is our very life. And when we unite, when we accept that, and to the degree in which we accept it and begin to court that, and begin to be in that, begin to marinate in that. Y'all ever marinate something? For those of you who cook, you know, sister said, yeah, I marinate. I know how to marinate some stuff, and I got some good seasonings, and it absorbs it, right? You know, whatever piece of protein, whether it's tofu, for my vegetarians, I'm very inclusive here, okay? Whatever it is that's being marinated, when you leave it in there and it absorbs it, it has that flavor. I mean, every bite, every morsel has that flavor. So imagine us marinating in this, being absorbed in this. Forget Glen Ivy Hot Springs. You know, marinate in this. You know, that if I were to just pinch a piece off, that it would be like gooey godness, you know? Because you would know beyond the shadow of a doubt that your life is that divine presence in human form. That life is expressing in, through, and as you perfectly. And the more we absorb that, the more we understand that that's our truth, then there's nothing, no thing that comes in the way of that. It's kind of like a speeding train or a locomotive that's just kind of speeding down the tracks. It's a bad idea to put anything in front of that, right? And that's the key. When I know and when I live and when I accept and when I'm in this truth and I'm awake and alert and aware to the truth that my life is that life of the divine, then there's nothing that opposes it. No thing can oppose it. So if no thing can oppose it, then I am living with this conviction and this faith that everything is coming together not only for my highest good, but for the highest good of all. Because it is all, and each of us is a grand and divine way that radiance and love and joy and peace and harmony, that divine intelligence is expressing. Making sense? We have to trust the process of getting to know that. So what is it for you? How is it that you begin to marinate in this? What activities must you begin to really engage in and really be with so that you know this for yourself? I can know it about you, but the truth of the matter is that you get to know it for yourself. And that, you know, not that anybody's a horse, but you know, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You must drink. You must be thirsty. You must be hungry for this so that you can drink to your heart's content, so that you can eat to your fill, so that you begin to really live life from this state of awakened consciousness. So we must provide a different mental equivalent for healing than those that created the disease. So when we have a dis-ease, when there's not ease in our body or ease in our mind or ease in our affairs, that which it took to create it, we probably know that stuff really well. I'm not good enough. That stuff always happens to me. Or I don't care how much I study, I always fail the test. Or we're ridden with doubt or fear that Jan read about in The Untethered Soul. That fear that paralyzes us, that stops us from really moving forward, that fear that stops us from knowing the truth of who we are. And so it is that stuff, it is that kind of thinking, along with the media telling us how no good we are. How when we're not driving a specific car, we're not good enough. Or if we don't live in a particular area, we're not worth breathing the air that we breathe. Or if we're not drinking a specific beverage, that life is not fun. And yet, we know how we feel when we listen and worship. Did I say that? I know I said a bad word, huh, Mello? When we worship that. Now, when I say worship, spend time with it, court it, listen to it, repeat it, play it over and over again, ask for it, want it, da 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 da. Whereas we already know that creates dis-ease. We already know that creates broken marriages. It creates sadness and hurt. It creates discord. We already know that. And yet somehow through some default, somehow I just keep going back. It's like an addiction almost. I can't help it. I just want to be broke all the time and complain and have people listen to me and woe is me. We cannot solve the problem at the level of the problem. What is necessary is a consciousness of the divine presence within me, that it is within me, that it is living and expressing as me. Therefore, that which is true of the divine presence has to be true about me. And if that's the case, there is nothing that gets in the way or that obstructs or that delays my divine good, our divine good. So we have to listen to messages and music and surround ourselves and marinate in truth. We get to be in fellowship and courtship and worship, if you will, of that which is the truth about us. That right where we are, love is joy, peace, abundance, clarity. That there's no thing that separates my life from that one source, that one power that is everything. And it means that our activity must fall in place with that. We have to align ourselves with that kind of thinking. We get to align ourselves with that prayer and our meditation and our treatment. The specific reading is talking about treatment, with which we already know that our what we call treatment is just a scientific prayer. And a scientific prayer is just that process of just doing the same thing over and over again. It's like a mathematical formula and how to figure it out. If you just do the same thing, boom, 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 you always get the answer. You always get the answer. Right? Just like this. Think of a number, don't tell me. Think of a number. Got it? Don't tell me what it is. Make it easy for yourself, by the way. Okay. Double it. Add 10. You with me? Okay. Divided by 2. Take away your thinking number, meaning the first number you thought of, take it away. Your answer is 5. You got to trust the process, right? I know, right? It's a formula. It's a formula. It works every time. It works every time. I know how the formula works, so I use it, and now you think I'm a genius. Because I am. The key is that with life, it's the same. The formula is to the degree in which I know that my life is the life of the creative intelligence, of the great I am, to that degree I get to live fully. To that degree, I get to live in freedom. To that degree, I get to live in my abundance, in my joy, in my peace. To that degree, I get to really, really live my authentic life. And as I become awakened, as my consciousness stays awake, alert, and aware, and as I marinate in that, and as I continue to share my learnings, what I've learned, the path that I go on. And as we continue to do that with one another, through our circles, through our coming on Wednesdays, coming on Sundays, through our classes, as we begin to call each other up on the phone and just simply help each other to stay awake, we then lift the consciousness of the world, and we can begin to see a shift. Kind of like some of the shift that we're seeing. Because you know shift happens. And it happens when we stay awake. It happens when we stay alert. And it happens when we say no to mediocrity and we say yes to our divinity. So the question is, are you going to trust the process? Or are you going to continue to fall back on what you know brings you to the misery and the shame and the blame and the dis-ease? And I'm asking you to simply be in spiritual community and begin to trust the process. And one of the ways that we do that is by taking talks like this, positive music, readings, and taking it into our quiet time and helping ourselves understand it mentally so that then we can live it fully. So the invitation is to clear your laps and to just join me in the silence and the stillness, right? You know, the truth is that no matter how still we try to be, because our heartbeat and because our body is so divinely guided to do what it does, we have cells moving through our bodies. We're never really perfectly still. And no matter how quiet we can actually get, because this movement is going on in our bodies, there's never really any full, total, and complete silence. But we practice just simply being with our thought and anchoring this thought. Anchoring the thought. The knowingness of being awake and alert and aware to the divine presence that we are. My life is God. My name, my last name is God. My life is the way that God expresses this divine intelligence. Not some deity, but just this pure, energetic life that created everything out of itself. That is my life. That is what I am a part of. And because it is always seeking some higher expression, because it is always seeking some goodness, some greatness, some grandness to be. I get out of the way. I trust the process. And I allow myself to remember more and more that my life is God. My life is God. That's the truth. My life is God.
is the light of God. My life is the light of God. Of God. Of God.
And as we know, and as we anchor this truth that Jim sings of, we let that be our mantra for the week. We let that be the song of our heart this week, reminding us gently of this truth, anchoring in this truth and this knowing that my life is the life of God, that my life is God, that my life is the wonderful and beautiful way that divine intelligence, beauty, and radiance, love, peace, joy expresses on this planet. And we recognize the places where we've been asleep in the past, and we simply awaken to that. We become like water, and we allow it to take on a different mold and to be frozen. And when it freezes in that mold, when it melts, it's still water. It's still another expression of life. So we allow ourselves to take on the mold of the truth of who we are. And we simply break, let go of, release, return into the field of nothingness, those old molds that we thought we had to fit into. We let them go. And we simply allow ourselves to be like water and to simply fit into that mold that is love, that is joy, that is peace, that it is the divine way that life and love and radiance is expressing. We allow ourselves to be molded in that fashion, for that is the truth of who we are. We bring into our consciousness and into our awareness that this is our truth. And then we find that we live from this place of freedom. Freedom of all discord. Freedom of dis-ease. Freedom of anything that is unlike the fullest expression of love, abundance, peace, harmony, radiance, joy, clarity, power, presence, divine order, wisdom, and eternal life. For that is the truth of who we are. And what we know is just like we trust the chair that we're sitting on to hold us up from the floor, we begin to just transfer that same trust, that same faith in this process. That if I believe this, if I come to believe this, if I anchor this truth into my life, and I trust the process, my life will reveal its wholeness. And I will live from this place of knowing that all is well, because it is. So we give thanks for this time and the stillness and the silence and the opportunity to anchor in this truth. My life is the life of God. My life is God. My life is the way God expresses itself grandly on this planet. It is so, and so it is. Amen. sometimes there's no words to like come out of that. It's just like this feeling tone of like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And we can take that and be in that everywhere we go. The more and more we practice it, it just becomes life, the natural way of living. Yeah. But I think I promised to let y'all go, not keep you here all night in this. Why not, right? I'll call it a sleepover one night. We'll just kind of have a slumber. You know, everybody come in their PJs, and then we're just like the whole night will be in this vibration. That might be kind of fun. No commandos. Everybody wear PJs. Okay. So it is now our conscious giving time. It's time where we stay awake, alert, and aware. And we simply recognize that we have received so much. So I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward. Thank you, Dennis and Melissa, for your service. And as you gather your gifts, your tithes, your offerings, your financial blessings to this community, thank you in advance, knowing that we not only support this Wednesday night service and the activities and all that happens on Wednesday nights, but that we also help to support the greater community, that our doors continue to stay open, that we have programs and all kinds of things that are available to us. Where are you? Come here. Oh, she doesn't want to come. So the invitation is to take your gifts, your tithes, your offerings into your hand, hold it over your heart space. We give from a place of gratitude, not from a place of obligation. Because we have been given so much and because we've received so much, we're just taking a portion of that and we're consciously giving it to this community that it might continue its great works. So as we become thankful for that, we simply know that these gifts, these tithes, these offerings, these blessings that are placed into these baskets, that Seaside Center for Spiritual Living is indeed a great and wonderful steward of that which has been given. And that we too practice the practice of tithing. And that we too are a blessing into our greater San Diego community, to our greater world. So I give thanks for that which is about to fill these baskets, knowing that it is given from a place of love, from a place of gratitude, and from the overflow. And knowing that we can never outgive that which has been given to us, we know that by simply giving, we participate in the ebb and flow of life. We participate in the redistribution of our good, that we also receive tenfold that which we have been given. And so it is. Amen. Go forth, ushers. And as you give, please open your hearts and receive the beautiful music of my beloved Sunny Daye, Jim Bianchi, and Cole Miller. She might bark, yeah. Come here.
Yes.
20 feet down the road is all I can see, but it's all that I need with 10,000 miles to go. 'Cause I know the light is burning inside of me. Within, there's a power within, there's a power within, there's a love within. Ooh, ooh. sow. And so I believe with one little seed, bigger, better, beautiful grows. 'Cause I see the faithful, they have all they'll ever need. Oh, within, 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 there's a power within, 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 there's a power within, 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 there's a love within. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, 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 I should know, know, know. Oh, 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 there's a magnet that's pulling my life. Ooh. When it's 50 below and all I can see is hunger and need, but my eyes won't cry in the cold. I remember the fire burning inside of me. Yeah. Within, 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 there's a power within, 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 there's a power within, 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 there's a love within. Ooh, ooh. Hey, 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 within, 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 there's a power within, 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 there's a power within, 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 there's a love within. Ooh, ooh, deep within. Don't you know it's within? Ooh, ooh.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, thank you. Right? There you go.
Wow, Sunny Daye, Jim Bianchi, Cole Miller. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, we got a few minutes. This is the part of the service that I love, and sometimes I get to rambling so much that we don't have a lot of time, but I always love to hear the truth being revealed from the community. So this is an opportunity for you to maybe talk about a nugget that you're going to take with you, or an aha that you've had this week, or a triumph, or something wonderful that has happened this week that you'd love to share with our community, or something that you got from tonight's service that you're going to take with you the rest of the week. Who shall be the bestower of truth tonight? I feel somebody.
Does this mic work?
Here we go. Yeah.
Just one little thing.
Yeah, please, Cole. And then we have one right here in the front row. Thank you, beloved.
Yes. So,
You know what? Let me give you this mic so we can see your beautiful face, because I just love you.
thought and action. You think it, but you got to act it.
Okay. Think it, act it. That was power within. Totally. Hello, beloved.
Hello. The gift,
Right here, right here.
the gift and the glory that you bring with the light that you shine on the I am is beyond words. Thank you.
Thank you. And you're welcome. My joy. Thank you. Any others? Yes. I haven't heard from you in forever. Thank you, love.
I'm Lydia, and I've been feeling really blue the last few days, so I decided to dress in blue, but no. I was hoping it would turn a different color tonight, but
It
it may
has.
as I walk out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been feeling really blue, and your talk tonight, it really made me realize that what I wasn't doing is trusting the process, because I am seeking it out, and I do want to know, and I do want to be comforted by that knowing. And that's how it came together tonight, that I knew that that's what I had lost temporarily, was trusting that process, because I believe in that process.
Totally. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love it. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, just a quick moment. My name is Carrie, and I'm here with my partner, Diane. We just moved to the area, and we have been searching for years for something just fits. And we found your website and listened to some of the things you've done the last few weeks, and can't believe what a perfect fit. And it just feels like this is exactly where we're meant to be. So thank you so much.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Absolutely. You belong here. And we're so blessed to have you. Yeah. Come on now. Bring it on. I love it.
First of all, good evening. What a moment divine this was. Dana and I, my beloved Dana and I, we're here in Encinitas, and we were just saying how we hadn't been to a Wednesday night service. And of course, a million things came up at the same time. And we said, no, we're determined to get here. And I must say, you raised me up. You raised me up. And I don't know how we're going to get back here on Wednesday night. We need to get back here. That was really beautiful. Just the whole, everything, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you made it tonight. Yeah. Sonny and I had the great joy of being with Michael and Dana last Sunday at Seal Beach, Center for Spiritual Living, and we had a blast. Michael's a wonderful opera performer and just wonderful talent, and his beautiful wife Dana is just this glowing spirit of love, and it's just amazing. So I'm so glad that you were able to make it tonight. Thank you so much. And to our new friends and our new couple that are here, thank you and welcome, and come back anytime and bring some friends. Bring some friends. Okay. So here we are at the part where we get to feel some more gratitude. So we just want to sense that gratitude for our beloved practitioner, Bruce Wilkinson, who's been in the back radiating the light and being in vigil with us. Want to be grateful for our beloved practitioner, Jan Hartman, for that beautiful prayer and that reading that just kind of kick-started the whole night, you know. Let you know that these two beautiful practitioners, they're licensed practitioners. They've been trained to pray and to know the truth about who we are. And so we have a beautiful little chapel just outside of this door here to the left. If after service you'd like some prayer and you'd like someone to be the witness to your grand, glorious life, they will pray with you and they will continue to know the truth about you, about your health, your wholeness, your career, your love, about anything else that's going on in your life. They will know the truth. They will pray. They'll do a prayer treatment for you, and you will see your life change. Trust the process. Trust the process. If you're a little shy, or if you have a long prayer list, you know, something that would keep them here overnight, over there by where Bruce is sitting is our prayer box. You can actually write out some prayer requests, and what happens is that gets emailed to all the ministers and all the practitioners here at Seaside, and we know the truth about whatever it is you wrote down on that piece of paper there. So we continue to pray for you in that manner as well. So thank you to our practitioners. Want to thank our fabulous musicians. Oh my gosh, Cole Miller, Jim Bianchi, Sunny Daye. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Want to thank Melanie, who did our sound tonight. Want to thank Tim, who's been responsible for our online and our video stuff. Thank you so much. Want to thank Ginny. She's our coordinator who makes sure everything runs so smoothly. And of course, our ushers, Melissa and Dennis. Want to let you know 2 things that are happening coming up. Okay, Seaside's Got Talent is happening, and I usually don't make announcements, but I want to let you know. Seaside, we have a lot of talent here. So on July the 11th, there's going to be a talent show. So avail yourself. There's some information out there. And then also, I get to hang out with Dr. Christian, and we're doing a conversations and exploration in diversity. You know, a lot of times people are afraid to talk about diversity and difference. Difference is good. We're all different. It's how we get to learn how to appreciate our difference and value our difference. And so we're going to have a conversation and exploration on diversity. It's going to be 2 Tuesday nights, July the 8th and then July the 22nd. So if you're interested, the sign-up clipboard will be in the back with me there. Sunshine, yes. You want Sunny?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's confusing. Here's the way I remember it, right? Sunny, sunshine, sun. Come on, baby. Come on. Just yes, beloved. Tell me.
My last name is Sun.
See?
I fit in.
It's all the sun people. Tell me.
Today, I think today is a very special day.
It is?
Because in 1964, today, Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act, finally saying that everyone deserves rights and can eat together and have school together. And Martin Luther King and the whole
Yeah.
world worked a long time for that.
Thank you for that. Thank you for remembering that. Yes, today is the day. So 50 years. 50 years of the signing of the Civil Rights Act. So we have a lot to celebrate and even more to awaken to. So with that in mind, I'd love to invite you to stand. We're going to do our closing prayer. We're going to make sure that we follow the hand signs of this beloved God being. And we're going to hang out in the family room afterwards, just kind of being together in spiritual community. So sing this prayer with us. It's in your program. This is our prayer. Oh, oops. The song got confused. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see, with open hearts and open hands. We lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see, with open hearts and open hands. We lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand. Love you. See you in the family room. Nice job.
What you waiting for? Who you waiting for? If you don't take a chance, you know just what's in store. Just do you. Somebody's gonna be a star. Just do you. Body's gonna raise the bar. Just do you. Body's gonna change the game. Just do you today. Heard a voice who said that I'm essential. All my fears are limited by potential. Said it's time to step into the light and use every bit of power I have inside. What you waiting on? Who you waiting for? If you don't take a chance, you'll never know just what's in store. Just